Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hatter Show, obviously episode 162. And obviously in this one, we'll be reacting to another defeat. It's just not great. At home to Aston Villa. But like always, I'm joined with my dad. How are we, Dad?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. You all right?
Yeah, all good, despite us not just getting a positive result at the moment. Just frustrating. But let's get into it. So obviously we took on Aston Villa, 5:30 kickoff on Sky Sports. Obviously we have been a few times this season. Another one of them games at home. Going into it, obviously I said a narrow defeat. Knew if someone was to win, it'd be by a goal margin. Obviously I said 2-1. Did say Ollie Watkins to get a brace. Obviously he did. Could have got more if we're being totally honest in that first half anyway. And then obviously, as for you, Dad, said draw. I mean, there was a stage where it looked like it could have been, in that second half, could have even been more, but one of them. But let's get into it. So obviously, lineups. Obviously, Minsky in goal, as we expected. Obviously, Menji, Burke, and Bell at the back. And then obviously, Kabore was on the right. Doughty on the left. Clark and Barkley went with it again. Obviously, I didn't mind. I felt Clark definitely deserved to start. Whether that was in that position again or slightly higher up. Townsend, Chong, and Morris. So that was interesting there. Good to see Townsend starting again. It has been it's been a few games. And then as for the bench, was obviously Berry, Hashioka, Krul, Ruddock, Nelson, Chio, Pysol, Che, and Woodrow. And when I think about it, compared to all the injuries, and I said it on the watch vlog, it weren't actually an awful bench compared to what I thought it was going to be. And that's not disrespect to the players or anything. That's just, the depth, the lack of options we have, especially defensively, for example. Obviously, Lukonga as well as a CDM, Elijah being out. I thought it'd be, there'd be a few more youngsters on there. But it weren't too bad, to be honest. But lineup wise, there's a few things that I, said. I didn't really know why Kabore started, if I'm being honest. I'd much rather have even, Chio there. And I know he hasn't been greatest to what we know he can be in that position recently, but, you saw in this game why Kabore is not great. And I've been saying it the whole season as a defensive player. But other than that, it was, good to see most of them starting, to be honest with you, in my opinion. But your thoughts when you saw that lineup, Bud?
Yeah, it's similar to what I said, but yeah, expected Clark. Bell was a little bit surprised at. Thought maybe like Hashioka would have started there. And then, yeah, Kabore. Yeah, I mean, Chio didn't play that well in the last game. And I think this is probably like, well, we haven't played much football. We've got you on loan. Let's just put it. Do you know what I mean? Give you another chance, kind of thing. And yeah, it doesn't really fit into the squad for me.
No.
But yeah,
absolutely. Let's go through some comments. Quite a lot of comments flying in. So big up to Jamie. Like I say, I like this thing on StreamYard now. Whereas if you're a moderator, it's actually got it on the chat, which is pretty sick. I rate that. He says, "All right, pal. Good, thanks, mate. I hope you're well. Obviously, you're on your way to the lane. Yeah, we'll watch that game. I'll be honest, mate. Because Arsenal are on fire and you guys do concede a lot, I do think it might be one of them, but you never know. You never know. We shall see. I mean, yeah, we shall see what goes on, really. But yeah, it obviously wasn't great at the Emirates, but we'll see. Big up to Darth Vader. He says, when can we start questioning the manager's decisions and find out criticism of him dismissed? To be honest, mate, I'll be honest. Me personally, obviously, I love Rob Edwards, but there's certain things he says and does, and I do question it sometimes. Like even the January window, man, I look at that and I don't think we had a great window. I'll be honest. I think the only decent thing we done was Hashioka. Getting that Reading player in and then just, getting him back. I don't really get that when we have our defensive, injuries and stuff like that. You look at the striker that's come in, we've got loads of strikers. It is, and half of them are just not even playing. So there is certain things he does which I'm just not really too sure about, man. Like we needed more for me. We needed more, and ideally, and I keep saying it. Obviously, it won't change now because we're not going to get a free agent as well. He said that. is, I wanted someone experienced in every single position, and defensively is where we're getting caught out in these games. We're conceding early goals, which is costing us in games. Like it says in the title, the Chelsea game, the Man United game, the Man City game during the week. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating, when we're getting these injuries galore. Obviously, we've said it, Lockyer being out is obviously massive. For captain, you can see we're much more structured better when he's in defence. But I just feel we needed more as well. We needed more for me. It's a bit frustrating sometimes. It is a bit. I'm not going to lie. 5 losses on the bounce. Yes, we have played Liverpool. We have played Man City. We have played, the good sides. But at the same time, since the Sheffield United game, well, sorry, after Newcastle away, it's just been downhill. And these games coming up, they're massive, absolutely massive. The games I still target and I want to win, and I will be frustrated if we don't get at least anything out of them, is the likes of Forest at home, Everton at home. Who else have we got? We've got a few more as well coming up. Obviously, Bournemouth at home as well, them away. Them type of games be getting stuff to stay in this league. Obviously it's difficult when you go to Anfield and that, but it's the manner in which we're conceding the goals, which is really frustrating me. It's just it's the first half of the season, I'd have got it. I understood it. Like the Brighton game, the Chelsea game, etc. But yeah, it is very frustrating, and it does make me feel that we definitely should have got a defender in. And I did say that. We wanted to see one. But Dad, anything you'd like to add on this?
Yeah, like possibly. We have been a bit unlucky with injuries, not just the Lockyer situation, the Camber situation. Because for me, if we had some problems at back, I feel like maybe Nakamba could have gone in there at some points, possibly. It's difficult to sign players. I feel like Rob Edwards has done a really good job so far. There has been some decisions in game a couple of times, a few times, which hasn't worked out. But he has adapted. It is his first time in the Premier League. I still think he's doing a good job. The time when he brought on Brown, put him in right back in game,
against Brentford, yeah,
immediately changed it. Like when he had the opportunity. Same as this game, we put Doughty in Bell's position, which didn't obviously Doughty. We need him going forward. He was ineffective there. We switched it up. That's when we started playing better as well. And the Bell coming on. I think there was another game where someone else come on and was like, he's not ready to cut. And they got injured. Same sort of thing. I don't think he's too much of a nice guy, but I think he needs to be a bit more like ruthless, like at times. We don't know the Campbell situation. Obviously, for whatever, the team never the management team never rated it for whatever reason. The Giles situation, I could see that you weren't, but if someone's, I have seen people being dropped a little bit, but for me, Cabore's cost us goals
numerous times now,
quite a few times, and yeah, he was better going forward, but he can't defend.
He can't defend, and that's his main thing. Yeah,
him in that position, if you're going to play him, you're going to have to play him in the Cabore position, like. Further up, Clark, whatever the Chong, the Townsend position, then that's the play, where he plays for his country. And I might have been able to defend a little bit, when he was playing under 20s or in France or whatever for Man City. But he can't do it. You've seen it time and time and time and time again. So for me, I don't think we'll see him start a game again. We have got Hashioka, can play and prove that he can play across that.
Really good again, yeah.
Yeah, so we have signed someone. We have been. Anderson's been very unlucky with injuries. Burke is a little bit injury prone, so he's on and off. Osho's now not so much. and it's difficult to get players sometimes as well, especially because you'd have to get rid of players. That's what people are forgetting. We had to get players out the door to get someone in. We got one player out the door, and we could only get one player in. So, in the summer is where you'll see it, regardless of what league we're in, because you'll see a hell of a lot of changes. So yeah, I don't think you can question. Obviously, you can question. We question them anyway. We've done it on the show before. What was you doing that? Like subs were becoming too late at times, but now they're not. That's sorted out, and a lot of it's still down to the players. And like where we've let in these stupid goals. Another one on Saturday. Look, going to sleep on the free kicks. Like it's happening very frequently now. It's happening in like quite a few games in a row, including the Sheffield United one, I believe. Just sort of them split decisions. Whereas if we'd done stuff like that under Nathan Jones, he would come out and go, "You won't see that again. You won't see that again." And you might have saw it again, but it wasn't for a very, very long time. It was like then the next season you might see it or something like that. This is where he's got to be a bit stronger and go like, can't laying into him like their team meetings or whatever. You cannot do that again now. If you do that one or two more times this season, we're going down. Simple as that. So yeah, you can question it, and maybe they're getting a bit nervy or they got a bit, after them the performance against Brighton was the best of the season.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then, like I say, since the Newcastle game, really, it was a bit iffy in that game, to be honest, even though we went 4-2 up, defensively.
Yeah.
Since the Brighton game, it's like it's just gone downhill. Man City, I'm not really including that much because Krul was in goal, and do you know what I mean? It was
we did approach it as a free hit, to be honest.
Yeah. So, but we wasn't ourselves in the first half, which we're obviously going to get into. But we are missing certain. That's the problem. If pivotal players get injured, Nakamwa, Lokonga, Elijah,
Lockyer,
and they say, I believe in the squad and that. Might believe in the squad, but the squad is showing that they can't handle that. So as soon as I think if we get them players back fit again, well, Nakamba's probably gone for the season. The Congo and Elijah are back in there.
Yeah, I see them both on the treadmill, wasn't it?
Back on the bench and stuff like that. I think it was going to be close, but we knew it would be close anyway. But I think we still got a good chance. But we really, the next two, then pivotal games, you cannot be dropping points. Simple as that.
I'd say the next three are absolutely massive because they're all teams that you're around us.
Yeah,
Palace away.
You've got to go an unbeaten run.
Yeah, Palace away. Who's it? Bournemouth away. I mean, Bournemouth's slightly higher up there, but I'd still say, if it's sort of like for them. I said it on the last one. If they lose a few games, then they're sort of like back in it, sort of thing.
Yeah, if they get a couple of bits as well, like if they, who's their main striker?
Solanke, yeah, won yesterday, as expected, to be honest. But he returned yesterday, and then obviously I think it's Forest at home after that. That is massive. That is absolutely massive. That game, that could actually. So even though we still got a few other games, that could determine it with the points that they could be getting as well. Whenever that'll be, that is massive. So we shall see.
Bournemouth at home. I mean, sorry, Everton at home, not in Forest. They're cup finals, like proper cup final. Like
they're the ones we have to win. Yeah, for sure.
They're the Wembley games. Yeah, you got to play like that. That's what they are.
Yeah,
you need that. You need the atmosphere there. You need everything for them 2 games. Massive, 6 points potentially. And then we might only need a few draws depending on points deductions or whatever. So yeah, cool. Yeah, we question it sometimes. Sometimes anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, and obviously we still got to play Bournemouth twice. So Big up to Paul as well. Says good evening, lads. Big up to yourself. Big up to Chris as well. He says big up, lads. Hope you're well. Apart from the result. Yeah, that's how a lot of people are saying it. That's how tight they are. That's how tight these games are. You know, yes, the points thing, but you don't want to rely on that. You know, you want to do it on merit. You know, so we'll see. And when they'll even get them, we don't even know yet. You know, so we have got to get results. Even the Palace one, I don't want to get into it too much. Obviously, we're on Friday, but that's an interesting one because obviously new manager, interesting. It'd be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, I'll stand by what I say with Bournemouth away though. I would take a point there because the game, previously really good in the first half, and then second half obviously it got their goal, and then before the unfortunate situation happened, they were putting quite a lot of pressure on us. So I'd probably take a draw in that and then beat them at home. That's how I see it, sort of thing, in that one. And then Forest at home need to win that. So that's what I'd be happy with. But let's get into the game. So the first half, obviously the first talking point that we're going to get to, Bell come off injured. Did feel a bit sorry for him. I did say, I'd like to see him try and play in this game. He was 50-50. Rob Edwards did say it's sort of up to him, sort of thing. If he make himself available, sort of thing. And he did try, obviously, come off. Not really much news has come out on that so far, but hopefully, it's nothing too serious. But big up to him for still trying to do it for the team, sort of thing. That's how I felt. I felt gutted, if I'm being honest, when he come off. And then obviously Villa, I'd say Villa had their chances in the first half. They were quite dominant at times. Obviously Ramsey had a shot. Good save from Kaminsky. Kaminsky made some really good saves in the first half. Obviously that was one of them. Tipped it wide. And then obviously there was this one, which was probably his best save in the game, in my opinion. The one by Watkins shot, but Mendy actually slid in and blocked it. And it took a slight deflection because of that, and Kaminsky saved it. But really vital touch there by Mendy. He's much better in this game, compared to the game on Tuesday night. And then obviously it was a good save there from Kaminsky. Kaminsky was very happy with Mendy there. Went up to him, come on, love to see that. And then obviously they had the corner, and then obviously they scored from it. Who else? Like I said on the watch along, but Ollie Watkins. Bit of an annoying goal to concede because it was a free header, for a player that quality as well. It was a bit frustrating. I knew he was going to score two, in this game. I knew it was going to happen. The form he's on. Obviously, we've had to chop and change defensively. Always knew that he was going to score, and obviously he made it 1-0. But what did you make of the moments leading up to the goal and the goal itself, Dad?
Just some of it, just sloppy passing and that again. And Trent Kaminsky was in goal, kept us in it to a certain extent. Made some good saves. You say, yeah, he's expected to make him, but yeah, he is now because we do expect him to make them saves. You just don't let someone like that have the space for a free header, basically. The first chance as well, Kabore was sort of running back, he's not really like getting in there like the rest of it. Even Burke wasn't doing it either, though, let's be fair.
That was what's been going on with him the last few games.
Yeah, anonymous really. And then the header, this is where you're missing basically you've just got Mendy, ain't you? Like Burke was at the back post and Kabore was just running around, and I think he ran towards him, but didn't, that's poor. And you ain't stopping it. So similar to what we've got with Elijah, if you don't mark him properly or whatever, he's gonna score.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And then obviously, they had a lot of confidence getting that goal, Villa. And obviously Watkins shortly after hit the post. Originally I thought it went just wide. But he ended up hitting the post. Again, another good opportunity, but there for Villa, like I say, a lot of confidence they gained from getting that goal. And then obviously they got a free kick. Obviously they quickly took it. Douglas Luiz played it into Watkins. There's a few shouts for offside, but looking at it in the end, I don't think it was personally. Obviously, it didn't get it as well. Good finish by Watkins posting in, but frustrating. That was a frustrating goal to concede because that's obviously different in ways, but similar goals to, for me, what we've conceded against like Burnley, Grimsby last season, where we're not switched on, and we're conceding. Obviously them ones were straight away, but these, they're already putting pressure on us. Come on, like you got to be doing better than that. One simple ball over the top from Douglas Luiz, and then Watkins was in just like that. Don't really know where Kabore's positioning was, but I'm not going to blame just him. On that one. I think the only one I can say, all right, fair enough. Was Menji because he was actually trying to communicate and say, get in your position, sort of thing. Get into line. But everyone else in that, no, not great defensively. One simple ball over. Kaminsky couldn't have done nothing about it for me. It's a very good finish, posting in, but frustrating again, wasn't it? Though.
Yeah, I mean, Burke, it was tough tackling in midfield. If it was a yellow card or not, I think it was Burke. And then, they're just casually stepping back. Like, the thing is, a lot of them players, that's kind of what it's mostly like in the Championship and stuff, But in the Premier League, they're looking to catch you out. And we maybe just be shouting at them, like, switch on, anticipating that that's going to happen. It was marked just onside. I mean, Burke and Doughty, they were in the right position. I think it was Chio who played him onside.
Yeah, it was Chio, yeah.
Maybe if Bell was on the pitch, then he would have been offside. But again, that's because chopping and changing at the back, and but you were still switched off at the end of the day, and we've done it way too many times. And it's just frustrating, obviously.
Yeah, and again, another one of them games where we're 2-0 down, before we've even got a goal, and you're thinking, this ain't got. Me personally, on the watch along, I said it, it's not looking great. I've seen us concede 2 goals in a lot of games this season. Yes, we show, fight back, but and yes, the performance can be there, but we're not getting points out of games. That's what matters. And the first half displays are costing us. Like I say, the Chelsea game, the Man United game, this game now. All right, fair enough. People might not say the Man City one. That's fair enough. I did take that as a free hit. I'm still frustrated about that. Because Haaland did score 5, which is frustrating. It worries me when we go to the Etihad. But it's just frustrating. I've seen it numerous amount of times this season, and hopefully now, but, we keep persisting with Corey, but now we shouldn't, for me. Now we shouldn't, because it's not just me, and a few others are getting frustrated. I see a lot of fans now getting frustrated with him because there's too many mistakes, even against Exeter in the League Cup. Come on. And it's not even like they're top half of League One, like when we played Bolton, for example. They're down there. They're down there. It's just not good enough. A few of them, it's a Chelsea game. What was he doing? Do you know what I mean? This game, it's common sense. Like people said on my watch on, it's basic marking, goal side. You learn that as a kid. Come on. Seriously. But yeah, we haven't even got into that bit yet. But there's an exclusive to that bit. But yeah, obviously Kaminsky, last bit of the first half was probably a Kaminsky save. Again, the save because how good he's been, he should really make from Rodgers. It was going pretty much top right corner. Parried it from going out. And Kaminsky, like you said, Dad, he kept us in it. From being even more. In that first half, and yeah, obviously we'll get into his rating and that obviously when we get to that. But that was it from the first half. And then obviously going into the second half, we started off really, really well. It was good to see. It's sort of similar though. For me, it was a similar game actually. Same scoreline as well. Actually, when you think about it, so the Chelsea game where conceded 2 goals early on. Second half, we step it up. We step it up. Obviously, Chong got a goal. Very, very scrappy corner. He was just trying to kick it in, but Chong eventually got it. And I just remembered now, obviously, he's a former Blues player as well. So obviously, he scored against Villa. And it's good to see, I thought he was very influential in that second half. Very good trying to create on that left-hand side, linking up really well with players. And yeah, that moment there, you're thinking, okay, maybe he might score again, but is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough to get a positive result? That's how I was feeling anyway, because of the games that, how they've occurred this season when we've been 2-0 down. But fair play to Chong, wasn't it, Dad?
Yeah, we switched it around a little bit. We just went more direct. so we weren't really defending. Put Doughty in his natural position, and then I can't remember if we put back there before we did make sub. So I don't think it was on at that point, but so you started putting pressure, playing like how we have been against other teams, big, as good as teams as Villa, and started piling pressure, opened a few corners. Some of them were frustrated, going straight to Martinez, which is a bit annoying, but he's a good keeper as well. He can read it as well, but so that was a little bit annoying, but the header that was put back in there by their own player was under pressure. He was under pressure from Carlton Morris. That's our sort of most potent corner. Flicking it over to Morris, he's heading it back in, and then someone finished it off. Burke was unlucky not to get a goal, to be fair to him. And then they pushed it back, and then the tenacity from Morris to head it back in again, and then falls to Burke, and then Chong, who finishes it. Good finish, and then we deserved that. We deserved that goal, and you felt that we can push on, and we did.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then obviously we got the goal, the equaliser. Doughty, very good ball in. Finally, good to see that he has been getting a few assists obviously throughout the season, but not quite as much as he was, in recent weeks anyway. And obviously, great ball in. Morris, very similar goal for me, and I said it on the watch long to the goal he scored against Everton earlier on in the season. Obviously, the first Premier League win. Very good finish yet again by him. I'll probably say his Everton one was slightly better because it was slightly further out, but that one was still very good finish. 2-2. Happy for Morris as well. Since Elijah's been out, it's not really quite worked out for Morris, but in this game it did. It did work out. Good finish by him, and 2-2. And based on how the second half was, I was thinking maybe could this be the time it changes, after being 2-0 down to go on and win a game because of how good we were and how dominant and, like you said, that direct we was. But obviously wasn't quite to be. But Morris, what a goal that was, wasn't it? And ball in from Doughty.
Yeah. We're going to be lucky to keep hold of him, the way his ability. And I think he was looking for Morris all the time as well. And Morris was clever with, making sure he was still on side. And then, he's good at them drilling it into the bottom corner, finishes. And it was good to see, actually, because he had stepped up in this game without Elijah, because weren't playing so well. He really, really stepped up in this game. And he could be pivotal. They both can, but I think he might even end up going ahead of Elijah on goals. I've just got something about him like stepping up for me. So it's a really good finish, great free kick, and good to see that we our set pieces are back on point to an extent. So
yeah, no, absolutely, definitely agree with that. He did proper step up, and I was impressed with that from Morris. But like you say, Dad, obviously about the goals. I believe, Morris is still one behind, but he could get that. He could get that. Obviously, seeing the Lokonga and Elijah thing. Hopefully, they're back. Very, very soon. Obviously, they put ready soon or something like that. Them two on the treadmill. So, but he could very well be. Could very well be. And let's not forget, he was massive for us at the start of the season. I remember the amount of games where we'd do predictions, goal scorers, and we'd always say him, because he was the only one banging in the goals for us earlier on in the season. So he's still very influential. I just want to see him do more of what he's done in this game, for example. Being that presence in the box, making himself get in there sort of thing and get stuck in, really. And we see that. So hopefully we see that more from Morris. Hopefully he can step up even more, depending on, obviously, how long Elijah's been out for or will be out for as well. And then obviously it still felt there was a goal in it. A couple of people in my chat were saying it. I said hopefully for us, but I still had that feeling in the back of my mind because we've been 2-0 down in games. that sort of thing. That they might nick it. And obviously they did. Digne, out of all flipping players, Digne scored the winner. You know what I mean? Oh, mate, absolutely fuming. Obviously the ball was played in, and obviously Kabore, terrible, terrible. Like I said, goal side, you learn that as a kid. I mean, you learn that as a kid. It just wasn't good enough. And Digne's there. Digne's there at the back post. They head it in, and Villa get the 3 points. After they weren't great at all in the second half. But again, that's because we were so dominant and direct. That we didn't really give them opportunities until that moment, which was very frustrating. Very frustrating. But yeah, the winner they got, Dad. What did you make of that?
Yeah, again, not so much switching. I mean, you could always say, "Oh, the cross shouldn't have come in," but it's obvious what was going on. And the cross did come in, and Kabore just didn't know that Matey Boy was behind him. Weren't even checking. Like, surely that's what a defender does. You could say if he'd have stepped forward a bit, then Matey Boy would have been offside, but he weren't. Like, didn't even know he was there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Why not? Like, what? Because it was like when the geezer crossed it in, you must know that he's not crossing it in for you to just head away, Kabore. You're not playing for Man City under 21s now, mate. There's someone behind you. This is Aston Villa. Like, he didn't even react. He's just poor. And Mendy, I could see Mendy was fuming. Rob Edwards was just fuming. Like, he looked angry, and I think that's going to be his last game. He was good at going forward. We've discussed this already. Yeah, he's good at going. So what? You know what I mean? Kabore's better than him at going forward. Right? He's been put in a defensive position. He's there to defend. I don't give a shit if he's good going forward. He ain't that good anyway going forward. To be honest, he's quite pacey, but nowhere near. He's not on the level of Doughty or Chio, or even if Townsend. Even Giles is probably better than him at defending as well. And that was spoken about, wasn't it? When he wasn't really doing well defensively, Giles initially, and then Rob Edwards come out and said, "Well, we know we haven't brought him in for his defensive qualities. We brought him in for his attacking qualities. Don't play him in that position, then. Or have some defensive qualities, surely." And that's what he's meant to be, isn't he? He's meant to be a right back. So yeah, it wasn't terrible, but that decision it cost us the game.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Not good enough. Not good enough.
We can't keep doing it. We can't keep. Yeah, we've come close. Yeah, but at some point we haven't beat. Like we said, we discussed it before. You expect to beat at least one of them, the big six at home. We beat none of them, and that that could cost us. So now you've got to beat the rest of them. If you don't, and Sheffield United as well, terrible.
Yeah.
If we turn it around in the next 3 games, we're going to go down, regardless of points deductions. I think you can't rely. We have to be turning around. It's like Sheffield United, Burnley. They're gone, and they pretty much know they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't want to get to that stage. And we have been the best out of the 3 promoted teams without a shadow of a doubt. But we're on a balance there now. We're either going to go one way or the other. We need to just show some proper grit and fight the whole squad. And if someone's not performing and not playing, Giles didn't want to take his chance. He wanted thingy football and that. See you later, mate. Kabore's made too many errors. He's not even our player. Yeah, Lokonga's shown a lot more fight and spirit than he is, and he's not our player. He's an Arsenal player as well. So he's not got that attitude. Yeah, he's older, but still, everyone else is pretty much putting a shift. Apart from maybe you can say possibly Woodrow, but then he scored the winning goal in the FA Cup. he's played less football as well than Kabore for us. Everyone else is pretty much stepped up where they can, or even do the basics right. Look at Ruddock. He knows he ain't getting past in Barkley's level and stuff like that, but he's still doing the basics right, and he genuinely. Some part of me is like, but we've got Hashioka now. Like, let's see this. If Bell's probably going to be out for the next game as well, so it's a bit of a tricky one. But just stick with Chio there for now. Simple as that.
Yeah, like I said, Rob Edwards said in the build-up to Villa that Hashioka could play anywhere across the back three, so maybe you might even see him there. He seems to do the job, anywhere he's been, to be fair, so far. I swear he changed like 2 or 3 positions in the game against Villa. So we shall see what goes on. Jackie says, hi, Ty does. Second half was great. Once we equalised, it looked like one team was going to win, and that was us. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Then I still had that feeling, though, like I said, because of the games, earlier on in the season, that we're maybe not, being 2-0 down, but we're really good. Yeah, and it's another game, isn't it, where you feel sorry for the attack, and it's not the whole defence was bad. I thought Mendy had a really, really good game. I'll be honest, he's up there for man of the match for me. Obviously we'll get to that, but
it's also like Rob Edwards. Rob Edwards said it reminded me of the Arsenal game. And if you think about the Arsenal game, when we that equaliser came in, that was because Kabore gave away a stupid free kick.
Yeah. I remember ranting about that. Yeah,
just clearing it, and it's in the last dying minutes and that, and you're just
when they were putting pressure on us in last 15 minutes anyway. Yeah, it wasn't good.
It's not working, But Bell, when he's been put under pressure, at least he's trying to do something. He's still fighting for the team. Like, I just think that he doesn't really want to be there so much. That's what I'm thinking. And he had a few weeks away as well in the AFCON. You're not really with the team and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I won't be playing him again. He might turn out to be a good player, but it ain't working out with us, and we can't be carrying passengers when we're trying to stay in the Premier League, mate. Sorry.
No way. Let me throw it away. Yep. No, 100%, mate. Couldn't agree more. But that's why it's like I'll say, like, mentioning that throughout the season, he has been good. He has been good, and you've got to remember with him as well. Rob Edwards actually said it. When he come in, he weren't expected to play, like, obviously not straight away GGL anyway, but like be as much of a starter as he has been. But obviously due to the injuries and that, he has been. Originally you would have said, for me, you would have probably said Bell in that left centre back because he likes to do that, and Bell can be decent there. It's just very inconsistent in my opinion. Obviously Lockyer in the middle, and you'd probably said for me Anderson on the right. If I'm being honest, that would have probably been the back three you'd have went with at the start of the season. So yeah, fair play to him. Fair play to him. He's still young as well, Mendy. But yeah, Burke. I mean, like you said, I say it as well, Dad. He's quite injury prone. We haven't. I don't know. He just ain't really been seen in the last couple of games, like defensively, anyway. So obviously Bell's out. There is injuries that are costing us. Obviously, Lockyer one as well. It's just it's a bit frustrating. Yep, exactly, and that I keep saying that, but yeah, let's get into the player ratings. Obviously, in goal, obviously Kaminski prevented it from being more in the first half. I thought he was good again in this game. None of the goals he could have done anything for me yet again. And he is up there for man of the match for me. Even though he did concede 3, like I say, not his fault. He still made some vital saves that could have prevented it from being more. I don't want to keep saying that because, it sounds like we're getting dominated in games. I mean, there is spells where we are, but throughout the whole games, we're not. And it's just frustrating. And if you are Kaminski, you are getting a bit frustrated, in my opinion. Maybe he won't show it, but in his head, because he's making all these saves and that sort of thing. But it's just not. And we're still conceding because of stupid mistakes. So for me, Kaminski, like I say, he's up there for man of the match for me. I'm going to give him an 8.
Yeah, I think probably third best player for me. But yeah, he kept us in it. He couldn't really do anything about the goals. And his passing, his patience, and that. He's definitely probably one of the best keepers we've had for a long time, 100%. And yeah, say kept us in it. He did keep us in it. And then the second half, he wasn't needed as much. But when he was called upon, he was decent. I'll give him a 7 point. Just a 7, yeah, because of 3 goals. I can't really give him that.
Yeah, fair enough. Paul's gone with an 8 as well. So is Jackie. Moving on, we'll go over to Menji. I thought, really good performance compared to the performance on Tuesday night. Really stepped up, clearing everything away, that he could, that come across towards him. And yeah, I thought he was much, much better in this game. Obviously, he had the header, didn't he, as well? I just remembered that right at the end of the game. Or I did say he'd score. Imagine. That would have been a very good point in the end, but unfortunately not to be because of a mistake. But not from him, of course. So for me, Menji, I'm going to go, like I say, a really good performance from him. Obviously, he did concede 3, though. I think, again, he's up there for me. So I'm going to go the same as what I've given Kaminsky. I'm going to go about 8.
I'll give him another 7. Thought he was pretty decent. Again, the first half, he was, the game before he's on Haaland. Now he's on Watkins, 2 of the best strikers in the league. And he was grabbing hold of him a little bit using that, and which is fine. He's still learning. But it was still difficult, wasn't it? But in the second half, he was much, much better. But it helped because he was attacking more. So it was definitely our best defender. I'll give him a 7.5 actually.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Jackie has gone with the same. Big up to Lennon as well. Menji 8.5, says Paul. And then moving on we'll go over to Burke. Obviously, did get a yellow card, like you said earlier. Didn't really see him in the game, if I'm being honest, defensively. So for me, Burke, I think I'm just going to go with a 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. He was involved in the goal, but that's about it. Defensively, he's not. He's not like like Lockyer would be, maybe just diving in and trying to get that ball. Or, he was just running back and caught out. He gave the free kick away. All right, it was in the centre circle and that, but casually jogging back, and then Osh over the top. And then the last sort of couple, it's just not been defensively as good as it should be. I think he was playing in the middle, yeah.
Yeah, apparently so, yeah.
Mm.
That's what I mean. You'd have thought he'd been seen out of the
middle. His best position's on the right hand side.
On the right hand side, yeah.
Struggle in the middle, seen him, especially if he's the main man, struggle. It doesn't work. I prefer Osho in that position, not the other.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yes, 6.5.
I mean, on the left, it's not ideal as well. If you look at that game against Burnley earlier on in the season. But yeah, Paul and Jackie have gone with 6.5 as well for Burke. And then moving on to Bell, well, it's a bit hard because obviously he come off quite early on. So I'm just going to go with a, average 6.
Yeah, 6. I hope it gets better. Maybe, probably shouldn't have started, but if he wanted to commit for the team and work for the manager, but sometimes I think they need to make. It's obviously weren't right. It's like 3 minutes in, he shouldn't have started in the first place. I don't think he'll be back for the next game anyway. But yeah, just a 6.
Yeah. And then moving on to Kabore. Here we go. Going forward, yeah, good. But doing his main job, like you say, Dad, defending, no, not good enough. I've been saying it the whole season. I've seen early signs. People are saying I'm too harsh, Yeah, too harsh now. How many games has he cost us now? Too many games. Stop this sympathy. He's not our player. He's not a player. I see Bell get more criticism than him. And you got to remember, Bell's not even playing in the wing-back position. which is his best position, as we know. But Kabore not good enough, cost us a game, yet again, another game. And yeah, like you said, Dad, let's just be real with it. Hopefully, it doesn't start again in the season because it's costing us too many games. Too many games. You know, like I said, I remember playing Everton, the first win we got of the whole Premier League. And even they were seeing that left hand side. Well, their attacking left hand side be exploited.
They do.
You know?
They've seen it when he was playing consistently. Every team was passing it down that side. Tells you all you need to know.
Yeah,
Seriously.
no, 100%. So for me, I'm going to go over 5. I mean, I could go lower, but I'm going to go over 5.
You know, like I said, you know, he was making the effort, obviously getting forward and stuff in the second half, and was involved in, you know, getting a few corners and things like that. You know, did step up, to be fair, but 5, you know, it's no point stepping up when you're not switched on like that. So, you know, he needs to improve that, not just for us, like for himself. You know, if you've done that against Man City, for Man City, he probably would never play for him again. Like, that's what Pep. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, 5. Unfortunately.
Yep. No, absolutely. 7 says Paul. Jackie's also gone with a 5. But yeah, moving on to Doughty. Obviously, very good assist. You know, he was quite influential, like we said, especially when he moved back to, you know, the position we do want to see him in. And yeah, really nice assist, like I say. So for me, Doughty, I'm going to go with I'll go 7.5 Doughty.
Yeah, he was able to, once he got into, you know, and don't forget he had to sort of kind of play in Bell's position for a little bit. Wasn't too bad there, to be fair, but we just lost that attacking impetus when that happened a little bit as well. So, but when he was changed to his natural position, you know, got a great free kick. You know, the corner, which obviously led to the goal, and apart from some crosses that we said was going into Martinez, you know, he was still whipping it in and quite heavily involved. And yeah, he's you know what, he's up there for player of the season a little bit as well for me. But 7.5.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. You know, it's even got other teams looking at him. You know, so that's how well he's been. But we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, much improved performance. You know, from him, especially from them crosses. But yeah, ratings. Paul's gone with an 8 for Doughty. Jackie's gone with 7.5. And then moving on, we'll go over to Clark. I thought he was pretty good again. You know, good going forward. You know, obviously not a standout as Man City, but quite hard getting 2 goals. You know, in obviously consistently in a game. But yeah, he was still decent. You know, again, depending on the Lokonga thing, you know, I'll probably go with it again if Lokonga is obviously not available. You know, in the next game with Clark and Barkley. Yeah, I thought he was still decent. Clark, I won't go too high, but I'll go with 7.
Yeah, I'll give him 7. I thought, yeah, he hasn't. He's not there to be doing the Nakamba role, the Lokonga role per se, because he's not that kind of a player. But we know that he can get forward. He's similar to Barkley in certain ways. Obviously not as technical, but he's still good at popping runs forward, popping passes off and stuff. And then it's up to everyone else to like do the defensive work because they haven't got Lokonga in front of them, they haven't got Nakamba in front of them, and that is massively affecting us. That is what's affecting us as well. So you can't really be blaming too much, but yeah, it was neat and tidy. And you know, it's only his 3rd start or something like that, possibly. So yeah, 7.
Yeah. Paul's gone 6.5 for Clark, and then Jackie's gone with 7. Moving on to Barkley, that skill he done in the second half, lovely skill. I mean, like you say, Dad, like we all know, he's very good technically, but I did not expect him to do that type of skill. Obviously, the Villa player went flying on his bum. You know what I mean? But yeah, Barkley really good in this game again. You know, I felt passing. There was a few little moments, you know, where he gave it away, especially the first goal, I believe.
in the first half.
In the first half, yeah. But I thought as the game went on, he was good. It was the Barkley we're used to seeing this season. So for me, again, I'll go with the 7, same as Clark.
Yeah, 7. He's pretty consistent, and you can't expect him to do all the magic if no one else is making the runs and
Exactly.
and like that. He is better when we are attacking as well. He is, and when we're defensive, he's not obviously not so good because it's just sort of bypassing him a little bit. They're trying to keep it away from him. That's what's going on. Yeah, but it was a nice little pivot, and then he got the guy. Was embarrassed, so he fouled him, and that. We Chong, where we get onto was winning loads and loads of free kicks. I've heard their fans say, "Oh, the ref was terrible," but no, I think he was pretty decent. To be fair,
yeah, I said that.
So 7,
yeah. Jackie has gone with a 7.5, and so has Paul as well for Ross Barkley. Moving on, we'll start off with Townsend when it comes to that front three. He was okay. He was okay. He wasn't as good as we know he can be for me, but he weren't terrible. I'll go with 6.5.
I'll give him a 6. It's quite ineffective, to be honest, and maybe that is why he's being benched. To me, we possibly could have played Chio there. He's played there before. I don't know. Maybe he was looking for that experience, that balance. Moving to do the defensive work, but he weren't really doing anything, in my opinion. So I'm just going to give him a 6.
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially for a player of his experience, you'd expect him to do a bit more. But he wasn't really seen. To be fair, Jackie's also gone 6.5, and so has Paul as well. And then moving on to Chong, he's my man of the match. I thought his second half performance was really good. You like to say, really influential. Obviously, got the first goal, which made us believe. I just thought his link-up play was really good on that left-hand side. Trying to go forward. He was always causing a threat. He's getting past players as well, and it sort of made you get off your seat. Sort of that. That's sort of how he was in this game. I do think I'll still stand by it though. I do think, he's better as, a player to come on. Even if he comes on earlier in games, like 55th to 60th minute. Because his first half performance weren't great, not just him, but, going forward, he didn't really do much in that first half. So, but second half, really good from him. He is my man of the match, like I say. So based on that, I'll go with 8.5 because close to him is Kaminsky and Mendy for me. So 8.5 for Chong.
I'll give him an 8. He is my man of the match as well. But I think that he does need to be starting because he is getting better and better. I think that he's a confidence player, and if he's starting him on the bench and that, for me, yeah, he's good because he wants to start. That's the whole thing. So I think he's been getting better slowly out of this crap run we've had. He's actually been involved in quite a few goal opportunities, whether he scored himself, which he did in this game, or he set it up, or been involved for other people. He's been coming quite pivotal in the background, if you look at it like that. And they just couldn't cope with him at times. I think if he gets a bit, he's still quite young. If he gets a bit stronger and a bit more physical and that, he's going to be a dangerous player. For me, yeah, man of the match. 8.
No, it could very well be. One that needs to start more. Maybe. I remember Harry a couple of weeks ago was saying, he's surprised he doesn't start more because obviously you see him at Birmingham.
And let's be honest, when we signed him in the first place, we was quite excited about him, wasn't we?
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. Yeah,
I
was buzzing. I remember I was like, oh, that's one of my favourite signings so far.
He hasn't quite lived up to that, but at the end of the day, he hasn't been starting games so much, and I think a lot of that, in my opinion, is down to some of the defensive. He for me does get knocked off the ball at times quite easy, and I think that's just the issue. But he can get stronger like that. Elijah used to be a bit like that. Someone else was like that as well. I can't remember who it was, but they improved. So that's it for me. But I'll be starting him.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Might see it more anyway. Especially if Elijah being out, depending on how long that is. Woodrow hasn't lived up to it. Considering he's got high, rated by the players. And Rob Edwards said, he's finishing and that. We've seen it a few times, but not enough. When he has come on, he hasn't really done much in the Prem. So we could see that more, and we probably will. If we're basing it on how he played against Villa as well. And then, oh no, you're right. Sorry, I nearly forgot about that. Chong 8 says Jackie for Chong, and then Paul. Don't think he actually done Chong. No, I can't see it for Chong. And then moving on we'll go over to Morris. Obviously got the second goal. Very unlucky shortly after the goal as well. Same literal shot. Some people saying, "Oh, if he scores that, we get a draw." But I'm not going to blame him. I'm not going to blame him for that. He stepped up. He was unlucky. I thought it was bizarre from Villa, to be honest, to not mark him the second time round. If he's already scored a goal, like that. But yeah, really stepped up. Hopefully, continues this now. Whether Elijah's out or not. Obviously, you want to see all your strikers, firing and your forward players. And maybe, like you said, Dan, maybe it could end up being the top scorer for us. We shall see. Obviously, a massive part of that will be out to how long Elijah's going to be out for as well for me. But he takes penalties as well, so he could get some more goals there. But yeah, decent performance from Morris. When it comes to his rating, I'll go 7.5.
Yeah, I thought it was really good, especially in the second half. Actually, the first half it was, but they were all like that, But in the second half is much better, pivotal in getting our first goal back, and then scoring that great goal. And then the other one that he was, I think he was offside anyway, so it probably wouldn't have counted. But he's still there in that position, getting with his confidence and that. And I'll give him 7.5.
Yeah. Jackie's got 8.3 for Morris, and Paul has also gone with the 8.5. And then moving on to Chio, obviously come on in the 5th minute for Bell. I'd say when we see him at the centre back role, or more defensively, shall I say, obviously it's not ideal to put him there, but because of the injuries galore, and we have put him in the wing back, we sort of went with it. But obviously the offside, the goal that people thought was offside, but it wasn't. Obviously, he was the one keeping it in line. So it's not the best there, but again, I'm not going to be too critical of him. What I want to see of him, which I will be a bit critical of, and I've said it in recent weeks, is just you are seeing it more, but when he's going forward at players, giving them a go. You see it yesterday. Obviously, yes, Man City's Man City, but you see it with Kyle Walker against Lindelof. I felt when we played Man United, he should have tried to do that a bit more. Considering Lindelof ain't actually a fullback. And obviously Chio's rapid as well. He's up there with Kyle Walker when it comes to the pace. So I did want to see that a bit more. I just want to see him do that a bit more. When he is, whether he's playing that wing back role or much higher. Because we know he can be good at that. And the way our wing backs are anyway, they bomb forward. Even when we had James Bree, Drame, etc. So yeah, I do want to see that a bit more from Chio, but I'm not going to blame him defensively because it's not his position. So for me, I'm going to go Chio. I'm going to go 6.5 for Chio.
Yeah, I agree. 6.5. I mean, he has got to play, and he does try to do that. Pass it around them and then make the run. And it just feels like recently, he's preferring to be in more space rather than take the man on, which we have seen him do. We saw him do that earlier on in the season. Maybe it's a thing where we don't want to get him caught out of possession, something like that, because we're kind of weak down that side. But then he was on the left-hand side. So, yeah, 6.5.
Yeah. Jackie's on with 6.8 for Chio. So, yeah, that's that on Chio. And then moving on to the next sub, Hashioka. Good to finally see him continue to get involved. Obviously, I wanted to see it for a while. I always say, I said it when we were rumoured with him, the Japanese players, they work very hard. They are very, very underrated for me. You look at the World Cup just gone, and obviously it beat Germany. I know Germany are not quite the same as they were a couple of years ago, but, not a lot of people had expected that. You look at Endo as well, who's at Liverpool, the amount that they got him for. He's been phenomenal as well, and it's good to see. I swear he played a couple of positions this game, at least two. He might have even played like three different positions. He was all over the place. In a good way, of course. And obviously, I wanted to see him start this game. Might see him start the next game. I think we might probably because of the Bell thing. Like I said, Rob Edwards hinted that he could play anywhere across that back three as well. He could even play in midfield. You look at his transfer market thing, it says he can play right midfield, that's another position. So that is good. That is a good signing that I'm happy about in January, definitely. But in this game, I thought it was decent. And a lot of people are saying it should warrant him a start against Palace, but I think due to now Bell being out, it probably will. It'll be interesting to see if he is in that centre-back role, whereabouts he is on that role, because he is more of a right-sided player. But I've just got a feeling he could do it on the left as well, from what I've seen of him so far. So his rating in this game, I'll go with a 7.5. I was thinking a 7, but I'll go 7.5.
I'll give him a 7. I thought, come on to Will much better than obviously in Man City game, but he weren't terrible in that game anyway. But I don't know if he played in different positions. I think it was just the fact that he was just everywhere.
It made me feel like it was
stuck in, playing the right passes. He was good. Tough tackling. That's what you need. He'll definitely start the next game. I think if Bell is out, you could see Menji going over to that side because I think he's been on that side before. If Osho's back, he'll be in the middle, and then Hashioka on the right hand side. That's what I reckon possibly could happen. We'll see. But yeah, 7. Is obviously going to be one of our good signings. It's looking good, tenacious, comfortable on the ball. So yeah.
Exactly. And another thing is you've got to take into account who we've actually played since he's come in. Now, Man City, he looked good in that game. He looked decent considering it's against Man City. First game up against Doku. I'd say it's quite.
We have to point out, which we haven't pointed out. Sorry to interrupt. Is the fact that Johnson was ill.
Yeah,
he would have been on the bench, and for me, we wouldn't have mind seeing him start. And potentially.
I was saying it, wasn't I? Even against Man City.
So you can also see why that potentially they didn't sign another defender, because they feel the players that they got with sign Hashioka play across there. Johnson stepped up, So if anything, for me, we needed a striker.
Oh yeah, that was definitely up there.
If, like I say, Adebayo is injured, it's affected us, and if they both, we've got nothing. We've really struggled there. But again, it is hard to get strikers, especially in the January transfer window. They don't always work. I mean, Sheffield United signed Barrett and Diaz. He scored a couple of goals, and now I think he's injured, maybe, or
I haven't seen him too much.
Meant to be like
a couple of weeks
kind of thing. So you've got to be careful. It is what it is in that respect. But 7.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look at their lineup. He's on the bench tonight against Arsenal. Just having a look at lineups now for that game. Obviously, it's at 8.
I'd be starting him. I don't understand why they're not starting.
Yeah, they're starting McBurney over him, which I think is a bit mad. McAtee, I get it because he's good at creating, but McBurney, man, he's a player to bring on for me. I obviously don't really like him, but
well, maybe they're kind of accepting that they are going down. Who knows? I mean, yeah.
Interesting. I'll probably briefly go into the lineups of that at the end. But yeah, Daki thought he was good, 7.5. Yeah, no, I agree. And like I say, you got to take into account the teams who played for him. To come in. Man City, currently the best team in the world. They're treble winners, club world champions as well. And obviously Villa are a good side. Good side. Unai Emery, good manager. I've said it for a while. And I think they have a very good opportunity to get the top 4, but it's still frustrating, the manner we're conceding a goal like that at the end of the game, especially after how good we were in that second half. But yeah, that's that. And then moving on to the last sub, obviously made 3 out of a possible 5, and that was Pelly Ruddock come on for Chong. Obviously at that moment it was 2-2. I mean, I'd have preferred to see Berry on, if I'm being honest, because Berry's come on, worked hard. It was 2-2, so we were sort of looking to get that goal as well. Ruddock sort of more. He does more of the defensive side of things. Compared to like a Berry, he can go forward, but yeah, I would have preferred to bring Berry on. But Ruddock, I think I'm just going to go over standard 6, really.
Yeah, 6. He was playing, it was decent. Didn't really lose the ball, but you know, you can almost see like it's a swan song for him. He's on his last kind of season. You can kind of get that feeling now. I just thought, every time it comes on, I want him to score. I want him to score.
Yeah, and get that goal every level. Yeah.
And that just like could be running away from it, but we'll see. 6.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. And Jackie's gone with the same. So yeah, that is your reaction to Aston Villa. So obviously, player of the match for both of us, man of the match, Chong, and yeah, obviously for the votes now, that's put Chong back up there, to be honest. So Kaminsky's on 2. Barkley's still obviously in the lead, 7. Doughty's on 2. Lokonga's on 4. Chong's now on 4 as well. Osho's on 1. Chio's on 2. Menji's on 2. Elijah's on 2. Morris is on 3. And Clark is on 2. And obviously, as for the points, Dad, I am now winning as it stands, me versus you, 4-3. Obviously, because I did say Villa to win, so I got the outcome right. Obviously, I said 2-1. You said 1-1. I thought you were going to get a point over me, to be honest, in that second half, but obviously not quite to be. Like I say, these first half displays, they are costing us, and it is frustrating to see. We need to start much better, like the Brighton game, for example. And even when we played Man City in the league, look at how that game went. The first half, we were putting pressure on them. They were struggling. We went into that 1-0, deservedly so, in that game. So there is the games we've done it. Liverpool, majority of the game, obviously the home game, we stuck it at them. And I just feel we need to do that more because I feel when we sit back, we're asking for it. You look at that Brentford away game, for example, that is the most obvious one for me. You're asking for it, even when you're putting attacking players like Brown, in the wing back role. You know what I mean? So yeah, we need to improve on that for sure. But yeah, that is that when it comes to that. And yeah, a lot of people are discussing that final spot now. Obviously, like you say, Dad, like we all know, Burnley and Sheffield United are down. Let's just be real with it. But the third spot, a lot of people I see are saying this between us, Everton, Forest to go down, and I'd probably agree. Obviously, we need to sort these displays out in the first half, like I say. But yeah, obviously Forest have got the point structures looming, but it's like we say, we don't want to rely on that. We want to stay up on merit. And Everton is still in it, I'd say. Obviously, they lost the other day to West Ham. Quite heavily in the end, let's be honest, considering they're at home. But yeah, we shall see what goes on. But Dad, any final things you'd like to say before we wrap up?
No, that's it. It's just roll with the punches.
Yep. And like I say, the next 3 games are absolutely massive. These are the games we need to get points out of. Obviously Palace away, which we'll get into a preview on Friday, of course. And then obviously we've got Bournemouth. I don't know what day that is, but that is midweek next week, I believe. I know it's midweek. I just can't remember the day exactly. And then obviously we've got Forest at home, which is, oh, mate, that is massive. That could, even though there's still obviously other games to play, that could determine, who's going down out of them two. People have them two in the conversation for me. Whoever obviously loses that. And then, it's sort of similar to what a lot of people are saying at the top half of the table. Liverpool City, whoever wins that, probably has a good chance of winning the league as a whole. That's how I see it when we play Forest, but obviously to stay up, of course. So we shall see. We shall see. Bournemouth Wednesday, Jackie's saying. So thank you for that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like a 7:30 kickoff or something like that, isn't it? So yeah, interesting there. Yeah, obviously it's going to be an emotional game. So we shall see what happens. But like I say, Palace, obviously we'll get into that on Friday. But yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Big up to everyone that's smashed a like, obviously, if you haven't already. That'd be much appreciated. And yeah, do subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. Obviously, do subscribe to the other channel as well. We have hit 130 subs on T-Boys TV Extra, so big up for that. And yeah, follow me across my socials as well. Obviously, TikTok, Instagram, the lot. And yeah, that'd be much appreciated. There will obviously be clips coming out next few days, and keep seeing these things on TikTok. These Luton fans getting asked players up against like Liverpool players or who's been better on form and that. So we're doing a few of my own responses to that. So yeah, do check them out as well, obviously on the TikTok and all of that. And yeah, like I say, we'll be back again on Friday. So yeah, big up yourselves, and until then, we will see you in a bit. So take care and peace.